This video begins with silence. A few seconds that feel longer than usual for anyone accustomed to constant distraction. Then the voice enters, calm, steady, unhurried. This truth will change how you see your life. Most people go through life believing they are stuck, blocked, behind, or unlucky. They say they've tried everything. They read books, watched videos, took courses, repeated affirmations, yet nothing truly changed. What almost no one realizes is that life is not being cruel to them. It is being honest, deeply honest. Every day it reflects repeated choices, accepted patterns, and avoided truths. It's not a lack of potential. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's the insistence on living on autopilot, waiting for something external to do the internal work. And while you wait, days pass. Not because you don't know what to do, but because doing it would require letting go of what feels comfortable. And that is more frightening than staying exactly where you are. Now comes the uncomfortable part. Nothing changes because deep down, change demands real responsibility. Not the polished responsibility of motivational quotes, but the quiet responsibility of admitting that many of today's pains are sustained by old choices that still feel safe. You say you want to grow, yet you keep choosing what's familiar. You say you want freedom, yet you protect the routine that imprisons you. You say you want a new life, yet you defend your old identity as if it were who you are. The truth is simple and hard. Comfort is one of the most dangerous emotional traps there is. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't scream, it doesn't threaten. It simply keeps you small, day after day, while convincing you that everything is good enough. That's why so many people live with an unexplained emptiness, a constant restlessness, a sense that something is wrong even when everything looks fine. It's not anxiety without reason. It's your awareness realizing you are surviving when you were meant to live. And after truth comes the same silent question. Okay, now what? This is where everything actually begins, because seeing the truth without acting on it can become just another refined way of staying stuck. Neuroscience shows something powerful and simple. The brain changes when behavior changes first. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. Waiting to feel ready is a trap. The human brain is designed to conserve energy and protect emotional safety, which is why it prefers the familiar, even when the familiar hurts. Shifting your life is not a dramatic event. It's a small, conscious decision made every day, even without motivation. It's getting up and honoring a promise you made to yourself. It's interrupting an automatic pattern midstream. It's choosing functional discomfort over destructive comfort. From that point on, life responds differently, not because the world changed, but because the signal you emit did. The first real tool is self-perception without judgment. When you observe your thoughts without identifying with them, the brain reduces its threat response and opens space for new choices. Thoughts are not commands. Emotions are not verdicts. They are signals. People who transform their lives don't start more motivated. They start more honest. A man who spent years in a job he hated realized it wasn't lack of options that kept him there, but fear of disappointing others. The day he chose to act despite fear, he didn't feel brave. He felt coherent. And coherence creates identity. A woman who repeated empty relationships didn't change because she decided to stop abandoning herself to be accepted. I don't need to feel different to act different. When action changes, the brain adapts. Always. Once the truth is seen and the decision is made, life enters a quiet phase. Almost invisible to others, yet absolutely decisive for you. This is where daily routine becomes the soil in which a new identity is built. The brain doesn't change through big promises. It changes through predictable patterns. That's why the first step isn't doing more. It's organizing the minimum. A simple wake-up time. A brief moment of silence before reaching for your phone. A small ritual that tells the brain, "Now I choose consciously." This creates behavioral anchoring. It's not rigid discipline. It's gentle structure. Because a brain without structure always returns to old patterns, not out of weakness, but out of survival. One of the most powerful tools is emotional planning. Not planning tasks, anticipating internal states. Identifying when sabotage usually appears. Fatigue, loneliness, boredom. Once recognized, you stop being a victim of impulse. People who grow aren't stronger. They're more strategic. They don't fight the brain. They guide it. Small actions, changing environments, breathing deeply, walking briefly, pausing, interrupt automatic cycles. I don't fight my brain. I guide it. That understanding changes everything. The invisible environment must also be adjusted. What you consume daily shapes your decisions more than willpower ever could. Sounds, screens, conversations, comparisons. Growth requires reduction, less stimulation, more presence, less noise, more intention. People who change their lives describe the same turning point. The day they started protecting their minds as something sacred. The brain needs space to form new connections. Without space, it only repeats. And this must be understood clearly. Discomfort is not a sign of error. It's a sign of growth. Right signal isn't ease, it's coherence. What destroys the process isn't failure. It's self-attack after failure. When you adjust without internal violence, the brain associates change with learning. And learning creates continuity. Your future is built by what you repeat, not by what you wish. Now we enter one of the most powerful dimensions of transformation: conscious future visualization. Not fantasy, neurological rehearsal. The brain responds to emotionally charged imagery. Don't visualize what you want to have. Visualize who you are while living that life. How you respond. How you decide. How you carry yourself. Visualization makes the future familiar. And when the future becomes familiar, fear loses power. I don't visualize success. I rehearse coherence. Mental rehearsal of daily choices prepares the brain before critical moments arrive. You see yourself responding differently, acting differently, honoring small commitments. When the real moment appears, the brain recognizes the pattern. Effort decreases. Clarity increases. Coherent people don't improvise their lives. They decide in advance. I decide before the moment decides for me. And something profound begins to happen. Decisions simplify. Life aligns, not through magic, but through identity. You don't force habits. You protect who you're becoming. Self-sabotage loses space because you're no longer trying to change your life. You're living in alignment with who you decided to be. Growth isn't intensity, it's continuity. Small aligned actions, repeated daily, rewrite your destiny. This year will not be remembered for a dramatic external event. It will be remembered as the year you stopped being divided inside. The year your actions began reflecting your vision. The year a new personality was born. Not perfect, but coherent. Capable of sustaining the life you envisioned because it was rehearsed, built, and lived daily. You are no longer waiting. You are walking. This is the year you stop becoming someone and start being. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs this truth today. Like this video to strengthen this message, and comment below with a sentence that anchors your commitment. Daily decisions aligned with who I truly am. If you'd like an alternative, equally powerful and fully aligned with the message, you can invite them to comment. I choose coherence over comfort.